Good morning, everybody. Welcome again to another episode of The Roasted Mind. This is going to be the first episode of 2024, and I know I'm pretty behind because it's already January 20th, and I'm recording this the day of, but it's been a pretty busy week for me. In fact, it's been a pretty busy beginning of the year for me, and because of that, and the whole new year, and all blah, 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 you hear everybody say the same thing all the time. I am working on changing the show a lot. So the first step is going to be I'm removing the intro music. I feel like if I just start in and chime and just speak, then that'll kind of make it more, I don't want to say meaningful, but it kind of makes it more of my own child. I feel like the more that I add and take away and kind of customize it, then this really starts to become another product of me. Another thing is video is going to be staying from now on, as you can tell. Here I have with me Gabby, a really, really good friend of mine, and she's been so helpful in agreeing on having herself on camera. So Gabby, I really appreciate that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And another change is that now you can probably hear it, but I'm going to be doing background music instead of the intro, just kind of like little background jazz or something. I got to figure out the copyright for all that stuff, but
very lo-fi.
Maybe not lo-fi. Maybe just like background jazz, cafe jazz. I really like jazz,
like
if you guys can't tell.
You put on when you're studying.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll be like writing notes and stuff. But cool. So that's that. And let's start the episode. So without further ado, again, welcome back. This is, as I said, my really, really good friend, almost like my sister, Gabby here. We've known each other for about 10 years, huh? It's been about 10 years since we've known each other from high school, and we started off not really knowing each other so well, but then, like all my other friends in the group, we all just kind of somehow collectively got together. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so Gabby, go ahead, if you want to say anything, what do you do? Who are you? Are you an alien? Any of that stuff.
I find that to be a Mexican joke. I don't appreciate that.
I think unintentionally, yeah. As another one, I think so.
I'm not kidding.
I think I can say that.
But hello, listeners of The Roasted Mind. My name is Gabby. I am the ripe age of 25. And I am
So Leo DiCaprio wouldn't want you.
You know what? That's okay. That's okay. He has a, Leo now. I don't know if I would want him.
There you go.
I am a recently graduated phlebotomist student. When, phlebotomy, for those who don't know, is people who draw blood. So like when you have to get blood work done, or if you donate plasma, that's me. That's what I'm doing. I'm a certified vampire.
Oh, certified vampire.
It's
like legitimate. That's pretty cool, actually. I dig that. Yeah.
It's
cool.
I'm also, babysitter on the side, hit me up.
You got like 20 dogs,
that too. Also a dog sitter.
Oh my gosh. So today we were drinking a s'mores latte, and this is something that I find pretty cool because this is the first latte that I'm sharing with a friend that comes from my espresso machine that I had bought in November. Before that, the golden turmeric latte I made with the mocha pot, the one that I had Christian on.
Yeah.
And so it was good, but mocha pot coffee tends to be a bit on the bitter side. So then you got to add more sugar or something to kind of sweeten it out, balance it out. Whereas this espresso is a lot more balanced, and you don't really need to add necessarily so much sugar. In that case, it's more preference. And I find that really cool, just to have you here sitting down and we're having this coffee. And so to make the s'mores latte, what I did was I used a Tirani s'mores syrup, 0 sugar, because I'm a health freak. Keep it healthy, keep it light. And so I, just pour that in a cup, make the espresso. We're using a Vesta blend. It's called the Camp Goosebumps blend or something like that. And the big flavor of that is graham cracker. Mm-hmm. And so I use that, grind it up, pull a shot, do whatever espresso people do, and pour it over the Tirani s'mores syrup and steam some milk. You wanted oat milk. I got regular milk because I wanted to practice my latte art. It ended up being terrible. And it really does taste pretty good. I think that kind of warm feeling that like s'mores has is one of those like really memorable feelings. I feel like whenever you do have a s'mores, it's always a good thing. Mm-hmm. And one of the more interesting things about it is that it's very customizable. A s'more. The coffee, yeah, that too, but s'mores, it's built into pieces. S'mores are, you have the graham cracker, the marshmallow, and the chocolate. And that's really what I want to get into. And that's really why I chose this drink, is because seeing you, Gabby, throughout the years and really kind of watching you, I feel like you did a really, really steep incline in progress in the last year.
Yeah.
I feel like watching you from ever since you graduated high school to now, hearing that you were in phlebotomy school and you're doing all this. And then I remember hearing when you started driving for the first time, you take these strides and you kind of like just, like a big needle jump. And it's really crazy to see that. And especially now.
For reference, I did not get my license until I was the age of 21. That's what he means.
Yeah.
So, you know, if we really think about it, I've only been driving for really, 4 years now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think that's, like I said, that's incredible. It's really incredible. And what I really take from it is really that you're taking this time that you need. I feel like you're kind of an example of, it doesn't matter how long it takes, but you are going to get there. And how did that feel like when you made this big jump into this career, into actually having a job or driving or whatever?
So for me, when it comes to driving, I obviously wanted to do what everyone does. When they're 16 or even when they're 18, they get their permit, and that turns into your license and whatnot. But it just never ended up working out. And then once I graduated high school, I was kind of stuck at home. My parents wanted me to take care of my sister a lot, and at the time she was going to a school that was practically around the corner. So if I had to pick her up, I would use my Lamborghinis. So
I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So at the time, driving really wasn't a necessity to me. But once I kind of started to be like, I wanted to go to places on my own, or I kind of felt bad for all of my friends who were constantly having to give me rides. It's very kind of them. I know they did it out of the kindness of their hearts, and then they told me, it's nothing. But after a while, I was like, felt a bit like a burden, because very that. And then so probably when I was about 20, that's when I started to try to get my license.
Okay.
But I think it didn't end up working out until after I turned 21. So thankfully, once I did get my license, I got the cool
the sideways
horizontal one.
Yeah. I don't even have one of those.
Yeah, I don't have the vertical ones like you youngins.
Yeah.
I have a sister she's 2 years younger than me. We actually ended up getting our permits the same day. Because once I started to get my license, my sister was about 18? She was about 18 at the time.
So then you don't even have to do the hours or something like that. You could just go from permit to license. Yeah,
but it was, a little difficult because, us both getting our license at the same time for my mom, especially because at the time I was not speaking to my dad. So it was my mom's kind of responsibility to teach two people how to drive. And my mom was a very nervous person.
She's grabbing the OSHA handrail. She's like,
I haven't even pressed the gas and she already has the OSHA handle.
Like, you're pressing the gear too fast. You're shifting it too quick.
And, for her, it was more stressful with my other sister because my other sister is a little bit more hard-headed. And, she's kind of very stubborn.
Okay.
So my mom would be like, oh, no, don't do that. Like, do this or, like, ease up. And she'd be like, I know what I'm doing. Or just, like, let me drive.
Oh, my gosh. And you get two of those kind of people together and it's like,
that turned into a lot of the time, if any cops are listening, stop listening. But I would drive a lot of the time on my own because, my mom gave me what she said was a couple lessons. She took me out once. It was just once.
It's just one time.
And, but, my sister was going to a different school and my mom had started working more hours, so she wasn't going to be able to pick her up from school. So that turned into my responsibility. And my days kind of turned into this weird schedule of my mom taking my sister to school and then my dad waking me up before he would go to work, driving me to my mom's job so I could get the car.
Yeah.
And then drive home, and then, you know, just go about my day until it was time to pick up my sister. And then from picking up my sister, I would go back to go pick up my mom.
What?
And on some days, I would even have to take my brother to work right after picking up my sister.
Damn. All of that?
Yes.
So all that just became too much. And then... Well, no. Because you were already driving, right? So
yeah.
That's... Huh.
So, like, yeah, once I got my license, you know, kind of turned into the, you know, I call myself Uber Eats.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Because, you know, as soon as I got it, it was like, oh, go to the store, go get this, go get that. It was very much that.
So you're at first, your driver's license like a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
You can finally drive legally, but now you're the errand runner. You know?
And then, you know, at the time, I have a older brother who does not drive. Mm-hmm. So when he was living at home, I was the one who would have to drive him.
Does he drive? He drives now?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, he still doesn't. Mm-hmm. Because at the time, you know, he would work a lot of graveyard shifts, and my mom would have to go to sleep to go to work early in the morning.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it kind of fell on me to take my brother.
Take the responsibility and all that.
Yeah. So a lot of the time, so, you know, in a turn, I was in charge of my little sister while also being in charge of my brother. And my other sister wasn't much help at the time, because I think during that period either she was refusing to help or she had moved out briefly. So my sister had briefly moved out with her boyfriend, and then she's back home now.
Okay. Right.
But you know,
you don't ever feel like that was too much?
Yeah.
I mean, you were taking care of 3 other people, your siblings and then your mom, basically.
Yeah.
And then you have these dogs, and you know that you have to take care of all the time.
my little children.
Yeah. So how did you just power through it? That's a lot, especially for a 21-year-old who's. And I think when you turned 21, COVID was happening, or was it the year before COVID?
No, that was before.
I think
it was a year before COVID or something like that.
So it's like, my gosh.
I think going through it at the time, it was more so like I don't really have a choice. I have to do that because, I mean, I did mention that I have an older brother, but my older brother is autistic, so he's high functioning, but you know, he still doesn't function on the level of what a quote unquote normal 30-year-old would. Yeah. And so in the sense, I've always been the oldest sibling. I'm like simultaneously the middle and the oldest sibling.
Yeah. So you get the worst of both worlds.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, you know, ever since I was young, it was, you know, you know, like, oh, you have to be the example. Like, you have to do this. Like, my sister has been working since she was maybe 17, 18. She's been working since she was in high school. And in high school, I never thought about working because, you know, we were in band.
Oh,
we were too busy.
Oh my God, that was like a job in itself.
Oh, yeah. And so, but even when I graduated, it was more, you know, take care of your sister, because when she first started going to school, it was only 3 hours at a time. So, and then my mom started working, and then my dad's obviously working.
Yeah.
But so, you know, felt really the eldest daughter responsibility of like not really having a choice.
And it's even worse when all of your siblings are near the same age as you.
Yes.
You know, because at least with me, you know, my middle sister is 8 years younger. With Ivan, I think it's the same.
8, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 8 years. So you don't feel obligated. You more feel like you want to take them somewhere. You want to show them this new place, or you want to do it. But when they're old enough, you're like, no, you can do it yourself. Why am I taking you? You know, I have to pay bills. You got to pay gas and everything. And you had that on your shoulders you probably still do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so it's been the better part of 4 or 5 years already. And that's a lot, man. That's a lot.
Yeah, there was like another point in time where I did want to kind of start my life. I was very interested, in skincare. Cool. Very interested in skincare. Yeah. You know, me at night, I'm doing my bajillion steps.
25-step routine. It comes with snail mucin, microfungin. It's got, you know, I don't even know, cat urine in it.
Cat urine? I don't have a cat. Where am I getting the
and
cat
here,
urine from?
And here I am using my 13-in-1
God.
skin, hair, body, nose trimmer, dishwash.
I have friends who say that they wash their face, like they're guys, and they say that they wash their face with like hand soap.
Oh
and I'm
my
like,
gosh.
why?
The same Dove soap they used to wipe their ass. No way. No, I'm actually.
It's the same soap that they wash their hands.
Exactly.
They're just like, you just hit their face
The
at the same time.
They use rubbing alcohol to clean out the germs.
No.
I have a couple steps skin routine. I think like 4 steps, but nothing.
4 steps.
I mean, your skin is always so good because you take care of it so well.
I think like even a 4-step, that's fine. At least you're doing something. There's some people who don't do anything at all.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I wanted to be an esthetician, which is your person who does your facials and everything.
Yeah.
Dermatology was a little too advanced for me. I was like, that's a little too medical. Let me dial it back.
Yeah.
And so I actually took a tour of a school.
Oh.
I took the tour. I spoke to a counselor. We started talking about tuition and about the dreaded FAFSA for financial aid.
Yeah.
And I think they gave me like a date of when it was supposed to start. I just had to get the financial aid in order.
Yeah, of course.
And my mom went on the tour with me because she had to take me there.
No.
And at the end of the tour, she kind of told me and was like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And I was like, "Yes, this is what I want to do. I thought you wanted me to go to school."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Well, yeah, but I kind of want you to go to, quote, real school."
Real school. Yeah.
Real school. And I was like, I don't have any interest in that. There's nothing I would definitively want to do. I would just be wasting my time.
Yeah.
She's like, you can just go and get what she called core credits, which is like the math, English, and all that stuff.
What are they called? The gen eds. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, why am I going to waste my time and my money? Like, I don't want to. And that's going to have really nothing to do with, being an esthetician.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, maybe you can just think about it. Or, how are we ever going to pay for it? And I was like, okay. And so, the time of the start date came and went. And I just never really brought it up again. And then, the pandemic happened. And even after, like, the pandemic was over, but everything started opening up again. I started talking about going to school again, and I was like, why do you still want to do that? If another pandemic happens, your job is going to be the first to go. Like, basically she was worried in her way of job security. Yeah. But I had like other friends who would tell me, no matter what, everyone's always going to want a facial. Yeah,
it's like a big, especially now when, like you said, skincare, you do like a multi-step skincare routine. A lot of people do that. It's getting a lot more, it's a lot less nuanced. It's a lot more popular. So yeah, people are going to want skincare. And as we get more and more into it, I think that's really a good job to choose. And I feel like I hear where your mom's coming from, because my mom is kind of the same.
Yeah.
She wants you to get a job with money. She wants you to get a job that you can support yourself, but you don't want to hate your job every day.
Yeah.
So then why did you go with phlebotomy over?
So phlebotomy, honestly, it came out of nowhere really for me. Because after, the failed esthetician school for,
Well, it's not failed yet. You could still go.
I did say that. I was like, once I get this phlebotomy shmoney, we're going with esthetician, baby.
There you go. Yeah.
And then, what was it? I lost my train of thought.
So you said it came out of nowhere after esthetician school, quote unquote, failed.
I was in kind of limbo. It was just, doing what I was always doing. Yeah. Doing my Uber duties.
Uber Eats run, yeah.
And I also started going to the gym about 2 or 3 years back. And at first it was just me and our friend Jessica.
Right.
We kind of, started it together. And then we ended up actually finding another group of friends at the gym. And one of them, I got very close with him. And at the time, he decided that he didn't really like his job anymore. And so he wanted to find something else to do. And he said that previously he had gone to school to be a medical assistant, but I don't know if he finished or not. I think he might have.
Okay. Yeah.
Not too sure on that. And then he was like, one day he just texted me. He's like, hey, can you give me a ride somewhere? And I was like, sure. And so I took him to this school. Yeah. And I was like, what the heck? He's like, yeah, I'm doing phlebotomy. And I was like, phlebotomy? And he was like, you should take a tour. And like, he was like, you should take a tour. They offer like different programs. Maybe you'll find something that you'll like. And I was like, okay. You know, at the time I had a crush on him. So I was like, yes, I'll do it.
I'll shift my life for you. Oh my God, we'll work the same job and you can poke me with your needle anytime you want.
Well, it was also, you know, he motivated me a lot to, you know, kind of start doing something with my life.
That's good.
He motivated me a lot to put my foot down with my family a lot.
Good.
And I mean, I'm still not great at it, but sometimes I do put my foot down.
It's a start, yeah. You're not going to be 100%, you know, at it right away.
Yeah. And so I was like, you know what? I'll take the tour. At most, I'll just, you know, grin and bear it and then just never speak about it again. Like, just pretend it didn't happen.
Right.
So then I met with a counselor, did a tour of the school. And then I kind of was like, they told me that the program was only 3 months. And I was like, oh, okay. You know, that's a little appealing. Because I've never been one for school. Mm-hmm. So I was like, you know, 3 months, just in and out. Yeah. And they were like, oh, the next start date is in October. I think it was like maybe like August at this point, somewhere around there. And I was like, yeah, like I'll do it. And then I was like, it's okay. It's like, it was like 3 months away. I was like, if I decide not to do it, who's gonna know?
Who's gonna know? Yeah.
Who's gonna know? But, you know, I think I started telling too many people. I was like, hey, I might do phlebotomy. Right. To the point where I was like, whoa, crap.
Now I have to do it.
Now I have to because I've told too many people about it. And if I don't do it, they're like, what happened with that? And I'd be like,
squeak it.
I think, honestly, I didn't even finish signing up until the week of orientation.
Because you were so back and forth on if you wanted to do it or not?
Yes, and also because when I initially took the tour and I got all the info on the program, I was a little excited. But I was like, oh, this is just the adrenaline of the anxiety of just
starting something new.
And talking to this random person.
Yeah.
And then I was like, it'll wear off. But you know, the counselor was a little persistent and he called me and I answered.
Of course.
Usually, you know, if I see a number and if you're not on my contacts, I'm probably not going to beep.
Send to voicemail. Yeah.
I'm turning the ringer off.
There you go. Let it ring. That way they don't think you hung up on them.
Yes, and then they call back.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, you know, I feel backed into a corner. And so I just signed up. I was like, because I think they also told me, they were like, yes, you sign up, you do $100 deposit, and then you go through your first 2 weeks of the program, and that's basically a trial period. So if at the end of the 2 weeks you decide you don't want to do this program anymore, by all means you're allowed to exit the program and you get your deposit back.
Cool.
So I was like, all right, word.
Yeah.
Word. And so, you know, I was on my way. I was a little excited about buying school supplies.
Yeah. Your pencil, your colored pencil,
my
your
little
sharpener,
notebook,
your plastic box.
Yeah, I bought a little lunch box.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And little containers.
Yeah.
I was excited about that part, but then, you know, the day came and I was like, oh crap, I actually have to do this now.
Sheesh.
I was like, oh shoot.
Yeah.
And then so I went, and the first thing they were like, you know, you can't have colored hair, you can't have long painted nails.
Yeah.
And for the people who are actually watching the video, my hair is purple and I am a nail girly. I need to have my nails done, especially because my friend is now a nail tech, and so she, you know, she gets me right.
She gets it done. She does the business.
And I've noticed that I tend to have a little problem with authority. So I had it when we were in band, the first year of our new band teacher. I did not like him because I was like, who's this person to try to tell me what to do?
Right, how dare they? You're just like your sister.
Yeah, even with like our guard coach, like I ended up loving her, but like at first I was like, who does she think she, like, why is she talking to me like that? Like, you can't tell me what to do.
Like, you bitch.
And so I had that a little bit, you know, when I started school. I was like, how dare they try to tell me what I can do with my hair? My body, my choice, you know?
So then what happened?
You know, I kind of, like, was going through the 2-week trial period, and I was like, we'll just see. I was, like, thinking of ways I could get away with it. Mm-hmm. I was like, maybe I'll just, like, change the purple back to blonde, or, because I didn't want to dye my whole hair back.
Yeah.
And as it was, the purple was too high up to cut it.
Okay.
And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to re-dye my hair right before the 2 weeks, because they were like, oh, you have 2 weeks to, you know, change your nails and change your hair.
Yeah.
And I was like, the nails, it's easy to change. The only thing is that I don't like short nails on me, because they think they make my fingers look like little sausages. especially like since I've gained weight, I'm just like,
That's what the gym is. That's why you go to the gym.
Yeah, I've been going to the gym for like 3 years. Nothing's changed. You know, sometimes just when I flex sometimes.
Just take a picture and walk out.
I can walk upstairs without dying now, you know?
There you go. There's an elevator, but you decide not to take it.
Yes. You know, the nails were an easy fix. I just changed them. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna re-dye my hair right after the 2 weeks. And I'd be like, I just paid for it. Because, you know, they said, you know, we understand that, you know, hair costs a lot, and if you can't, you know, afford to change it back, then just hide it somehow.
Okay. Well, you're gonna be wearing gloves anyways.
Well, yeah. So once the 2-week trial period was over, that's when they gave us our student laptops and our scrubs. And I started putting my hair in a bun, and, you know, they take points off when you're not, you know, dressed appropriately or according to how they want you to dress. So like if you're wearing like open-toed shoes, like if your hair is, well, technically you could have your hair down, but once you're in quote-unquote lab, you're supposed to have your hair up. You can't have any, you know, like if you have your septum, you can't have the barbells out. You gotta, you know, stick them back in. You can't wear hoop earrings, all of that kind of stuff.
You can't express freedom of choice.
Well, it's 'cause
you have to follow communism.
Well, no, like the studs are fine. You have to
follow Fidel Castro.
Well, it's because they say that, you know, while you're in school, they want to practice like how it would be in the career field, and in the career field, they say, you know, with the dangly earrings, you know, if you're working with children, they're gonna yank them down. And you know, also, you know, with the, what is that thing called? The little septum? Yeah, but the ones that like dangle.
Oh, the bold?
Yeah, that one. So then after the 2 weeks, and I, you know, really started getting into the program, you know, I'm out here sticking my classmates. My classmates are sticking me. I kind of went through like a period where I was in a fog. Okay. Like, that's the best way I can describe it, because I would go about my days and nothing felt real.
What do you mean?
Everything felt like it was a dream. Like I didn't really feel like I was living my life.
In a good way or a bad way? Or just kind of like an I'm just existing kind of way? I don't know. Maybe it's because it was such a big change. Yeah. Like, now I have like something that's bigger than what I usually did. Mm-hmm. You know, now that I'm doing something that eventually is gonna lead to a career, and like really, you know, starting to be a big girl. I can't be like a 25-year-old teenager anymore. Yeah. And so I think my brain was just going through like a big shift, and it didn't really know how to process it. Yeah. So it everything felt like a dream. Nothing felt real. Like, I would be sitting in class, like staring at the window, and I was like, am I even really here right now? Like I feel like I'm in a dream. Like, I'm just gonna wake up one day and it's just gonna be my normal routine. And that was a little scary. Yeah. Like, because I would still do everything the same, you know. I'd go to school, and then at night I would go to the gym like I would.
And even like at the gym, I just felt like I was still in like a dream.
Really?
So I was like, this is actually really scary.
Yeah. Because like you said, it's a big change. And I certainly think, in my opinion, it's bigger than getting your driver's license.
Yeah.
And you've been so long without a quote unquote official job or like kind of career. And, you know, phlebotomy is something that it's needed, and there's always going to be jobs open for it, and it pays a decent amount.
Yeah.
And it'll get you to where you want to go in esthetician school. And, you know, just kind of like that, like I said, that big steep incline that you took, that's honestly baffles me. And so coming from you, hearing that it put you in this fog in this daze is completely understandable.
I think once my brain kind of got used to like, hey, this is your routine, because you know, we as humans, we're very routine oriented.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times, like if we're deviated from our routine, we kind of just be like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
So once it became part of my routine, I actually really started to enjoy it.
Do you think maybe that, like, because you mentioned that you had all that adrenaline when you were signing up in the 2-week period. Do you think maybe that fog was due to like exhaustion from it? You know, you have this big surge of adrenaline and it just comes down, and you haven't felt something like that in, well, maybe not ever in this kind of sense.
Maybe, because I do remember like I would like go into class and I would have a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
But I would just have to, you know, kind of sit there and pretend that I didn't. Like I would like want to like twitch and like move around, but I would be too scared to move because I was like, I don't want to be perceived.
Yeah.
Like I'm just here. I
cannot be known.
Yeah, no. Like even in the beginning, I was like, I'm not gonna talk to any of these people. Like
you're just gonna get in, get out.
Yeah, I'm gonna get in, get out.
Yep.
I don't need to make friends. I don't need to make pleasantries.
Yep.
But that was just, you know, like me being like annoying.
Trust me, I was the same way as you when I did nursing school.
But like by the end, I'm like, oh, there's like people I miss. Like I kind of got close to a girl there who I would sit next to her a lot.
Yeah.
Because I know she was very shy and she was very quiet, and like I was like, you know, I wanted to, you know, show her kindness.
Yeah.
And I would pair up with her a lot because she would be very nervous when it came to sticking people. And a great virtue to have if you're in phlebotomy is patience.
Yeah.
And I felt like there was like a lot of people who they weren't really outwardly patient. And so that would make her even more nervous. And, you know, I always worked on just being like, no, you're fine. Like, that didn't hurt. A lot of the times it wouldn't. There was like one time where she like stuck me and it didn't hurt. And it really did hurt. And I was like, But I just pretended because I was like, I don't want to like break her confidence. Yeah,
exactly. She's not going to want to stick you again. Or maybe she's just going to go home feeling really bad about herself that day.
And, you know, my teacher would say, like, we're all learning. Like, you all have to be patient with each other.
Yeah.
And it was so cute because one day she came in, she was like, oh, I made you something. And I was like, huh? And she made me like a little lizard out of beads.
Aww.
And I was like, oh my God.
That's
I think I sent it to the group chat right away.
You did. Yeah.
I was like, guys, I'm going to cry. Like, look what she made me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was like another girl who, like, out of nowhere, she actually was the one who started talking to me. And mostly it was because she would make fun of my age.
Yeah. Okay.
I was literally a 25-year-old surrounded by like fresh out of high school teenagers.
Who cares? Why was she making fun of you? Whatever.
It was just like teasing. Yeah, it was like teasing.
Okay.
She was like, she knew I was 25. She's like, oh, aren't you like damn near 30? And I was like,
oh my goodness.
Excuse me, you child. And, you know, when I'm around younger kids, I like to, you know, play into that and be like, what are the youngins doing today? Or
did
like,
you catch the new episode of Coco Melon last night?
No, I'd be like, you know, as the kids say, you ate that.
Yeah. Oh, you ate besties,
sis.
and you left no pieces. You left
Bestie,
no
you
food
left no crumbs.
You left no... what's another word for crumbs? You left no flakes.
Surapitas. You left no surapitas.
Yeah.
Go off, sis.
That's really interesting to hear you kind of break your own comfort zone and saying hey to these people, because
Yeah.
you've always been very shy.
Yes.
And for you to describe somebody else as the shy one is new. I don't think I can really ever say I've seen you do that before.
Yeah.
Because we've been such like a close group knit of friends that it's really only been us for a while. And I think that gym group that you had, as much as I tease you for not sending us an invite to go out,
Oh my God.
totally unfair, by the way, and not cool at all.
Oh my God.
But as much as I tease you, they are good for you because they broke your comfort zone. And that all really started when you and Jess started doing Zumba, and then you started meeting with that Zumba chick, what's her name, Monica. So, it's like a progressive build-up. And hearing that now really makes it less of that steep incline. And it's really something that you've been working towards, even though you don't even know that. Phlebotomy, yeah, because you really did just jump right into it, But kind of breaking out of your comfort zone and being a lot less you might still call yourself an introvert, but you're a lot less of it, and you're starting to get in that neutral territory. I think that's awesome, dude. I think that's awesome. Like I said, it's progressive, and you've been progressing, and I don't know, I think that's really cool. I think in terms of like a s'mores, sorry, I didn't mean to. I know you're gonna say something, but I'm gonna forget this if I don't say it.
Finish your train of thought.
But I think in terms of like a s'more, you have the s'more, you have the marshmallow on your stick, and you've been charring it for however long you want it to be.
Or no.
Oh no, my camera just fell.
Party foul.
Party foul. Let's fix that. There we go. It's fixed. I might leave that in there. I think I am gonna leave that in there.
Very, very real.
But in terms of like the s'more, you have the stick, the marshmallow on the stick, and you're charring it to your perfection. And you might have started from nothing, a brand new, fresh, rubbery marshmallow, and however black you want it, however roasted, you're getting there. It doesn't matter if everybody else is done and they already took theirs out. Maybe they put theirs too close to the flame and they got it charred as quick as they could, or they're taking their sweet time at the very top of the fire and letting it get melted from the inside. Wherever you're at, you're doing that in how you want it, and it's very progressive, and it's very it'll lead to the perfection, the perfect kind of s'more that you want. As much as you might not see it when you look in the mirror or when you go out with these group of friends, from an outside perspective, from what you're telling me, I do see it. I think that's pretty cool. I think that's actually amazing, Gabby. I wasn't expecting to hear any of that when you were gonna come in today. So yeah, I'm proud of you, dude. I'm really, really proud of you. That's awesome.
Yeah, I used to just be like, why are people friends with me? I'm not, not that useful.
Yep.
Like, I'm just doing nothing with my life, and everyone else is just, doing their thing. And our friend Jessica, she used to always tell me, everyone does, like what you said, everyone does their own thing at their own pace. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you shouldn't compare your life to anyone else's, because everyone has different circumstances, and so they're all in different positions of life.
Yeah.
So for some people it's easier for them to immediately kind of like go through the motions, and even then there's like some people who would take a hot minute to finish school, and that's completely fine, because if that's what you need to finish school, then that's fine. And there's some people who don't go to school because they don't see a point, and they're just working towards a career of their own without school.
Yep, that's true, because I went to school when I was in nursing school. I was 22 20 what was I think I was 21. I don't remember. But I went to school with people that were 19, and then I went to school with people that were 40, and yet we were all in the same classroom, and it didn't matter, because we were all from different backgrounds, different ages, different experiences, and we were still there getting the same thing. It doesn't really matter when you get it done, and I think that you're an example of that, is that it doesn't matter at the end, as long as you feel satisfied in what you do, and you go and you do it, and maybe it'll lead to something else. For you, maybe it'll lead to being an esthetician. Esthetician. And, this might be just another stepping stone in getting to that goal. And then maybe you'll feel like the payoff was worth it. Maybe you'll feel like, I took that step. I was a bit uncomfortable at first, but I did it. Went to phlebotomy, did my time, got the money, go to esthetician school. and you might feel the same way because it's brand new,
Yeah.
but it's something that you at least enjoy, and it's something you already know, as much as you might not know kind of like the textbook, science behind all that stuff or whatever, with their instruments that they'll use, but you know the base foundation. You know what snail mucin does, and you know what vitamin E and C does. You know what foundation is good for your skin, what ingredients are not, because you buy those. You're a consumer of your own career.
Capitalism.
But this is positive capitalism. This is capitalism that works for you.
Yeah.
And so when do you think, like, is that the payoff? Is that the payoff when you finally get done with that school? Or do you think there's something else that you'd like to do after that? Or do you just feel satisfied now in the payoff? Kind of like, instead of a grand scheme life payoff, this is a side quest. Like you got your reward for this side quest, and you feel satisfied in that. You're ready to move on to the next one with its own reward. What do you think is your payoff?
I mean, right now, it was actually funny because once I was done with school, my mom immediately was like, because I would tell a lot of the kids in my phlebotomy class, they were doubling for medical assistant. And my mom would always tell me, like, why didn't you do that? And I was like, because I don't want to be a medical assistant. I'm like, it's a lot
more paperwork.
Yeah.
A lot more paperwork.
Yeah. A lot more paperwork, more money. Yeah. And a lot of places they're not specifically hiring phlebotomists. They want medical assistants with phlebotomy experience. Yeah. Because they want both of the jobs for one paycheck.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no.
Yeah. I don't think so.
I'm like, you're not going to get me.
I am not admitting no patients.
No.
I'm not checking their chart.
I'm not
All
checking
I'm doing
vitals.
Is sticking them, pricking them, and another icking them. Whatever. I can't think of another one.
Just poke them in out.
There you go. In, out, boom. 18 gauge, 16 gauge, big veins.
Oy.
Yep.
Oy.
Yeah.
But I did say that, maybe, if phlebotomy, job works out, I think I did say to her that I would think about doing medical billing and coding.
Ooh. Yeah.
Because that seemed interesting, but I say that now.
You say that now.
I say that now if I don't get trapped into it.
Yeah, the thing is cool because it's an office job. I think they get paid decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you said, you're gonna be spending more money for another school.
Yeah.
Another program, and then, well, who knows? Maybe you might know somebody and you might apply for a job internally. However that may work, but then that's like another step. If you feel like you're ready for it, then do it. If you feel like that requires the pay raise and everything, but I think phlebotomy pays decent. I think it pays decent.
Right now, I'm just content
Yeah.
with just phlebotomy and trying to get my job and doing my stick and pokes. Doing my stick and pokes.
Stick and pokes and you're poking sticks.
Yeah. But another goal is, eventually, maybe a couple years down the line to do esthetician school that is, right now I feel like my payoff is fine.
Yeah.
I did school, which is, for me, it was a big deal because, let's get serious.
Ooh, dim the lights. Cue the music.
I never expected... No, this is going to be a little dark.
No, go ahead.
I never really expected to live this long. When I entered high school, most people, think, I'm going to take my 4 years here. When I went into high school, I immediately was going to, I'm not going to graduate.
Yeah.
I never expected to graduate. Turning 18 was a horrible thought to me.
Yeah.
I always imagined at that time that something would eventually happen to where I wouldn't make it to 18 or make it to graduating high school, because I was just I don't want to be an adult. I don't want to enter the adult world. That just means that you're closer to dying. It means that you're closer to everything is too serious. And so I used to just kind of pray that something would happen.
That something would happen?
Yeah. And so that was like a very crazy thing to go through.
Yeah.
And I mean, I ended up, not graduating on time.
Yeah.
I still graduated,
Yeah.
but I didn't graduate on time. And that's why I feel like I was in limbo for so long, because it was also like, I'm being put to do other things, but at the same time, I'm just like, I don't want to like do anything else because it's such a scary concept. And it's just like, I didn't want to be in this point in my life. Like, I wanted to have been long over.
Yeah.
And so that was just like a very scary thought. So to now, in this day, like, have my phlebotomy license, like, to have passed like a state and, like a state and country license, basically.
Yeah.
And, to be getting interviews for jobs and, like, being on my way to that, it's a very scary, but also, what's the word?
You don't want to say rewarding.
Yeah, I don't want to say rewarding.
Shocking?
Yeah. Like,
you are surprised to have lived this long.
Yeah.
And to have done these things.
Yeah.
Do you think that because you had that thought in the back of your head, that's why it kind of took you forever, quote unquote forever,
Yeah.
to get
I
a new
think I got
career
complacent
in just existing?
Yes. Because I didn't want to progress, because it was just more of like, if you actually go through with these things, it's going to make everything a little too real.
Yeah.
And then it was just a very scary thing for me.
Yeah.
I was like, why didn't it end?
At least it didn't, because I mean, dude.
Yeah.
I really can't say anything because, you're valuable. You're a valuable friend to me. You're, like I said, you're my sister. As much as I consider Jess and Jasmine and everybody, Christian, Brian, and Ivan, my brothers, you are my sister. And without you, I don't know how different my life would be, because I just can't imagine that. Who else am I going to get a Michi with? Who else is always going to be down? Ivan's down, yeah, but he's like a different kind of down. He's like a let's just go all out kind of down,
I'm a both. I'll go all out, but I know how to be
But
very
you'll take it chill. Yeah. But like, even then, I think out of everybody, I think you're the one that I've had most of these conversations with, more of these kind of opening up and deeper conversations. And although at times, we can go however long without talking to each other, or just because life or whatever, I still know you. I still understand you, because you give me that time, because you give me that, not only information, but this space where we can communicate and be honest and be real. And I don't know how different my life would be without you, because I just can't imagine it, because you're an incredibly vital part. And so hearing you say that, and hearing you kind of these whole years, you've just been content with just living. And content is even a strong word. You're just...
Living is also a strong word.
Yeah. You're just here.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Dang it, there was something I was going to say. Oh, for the listeners out there, we have this... In our friend group, we have this like running, I wouldn't say gag, but this reoccurring occurrence. Occurrence that reoccurs.
I'm interested in where you're going with this.
Where, if we're all hanging out together and we're all, drinking, it used to be more prevalent before. Like, he's kind of calmed down now, but...
Oh no, what are you gonna say?
But Alex used to, sometimes he would pick one person. I think there was one night where like you were going around with everyone, where you would kind of sit down with like people randomly, and you would have just like, a heart to heart with them.
Oh my god, dude.
And so sometimes it'd be like, oh, who got picked for Alex's heart to heart?
Oh, now that you say that, I totally forgot that I did that.
Yeah, no, but that's just like how how like just you as a person and us as a friend group, like we've always just been very very like open, very down with each other.
Yeah.
To the point where, you know, I think it was
even
during...
when we're intoxicated, we can be open with each other.
Oh yeah, that's when you can really be open.
Oh my god.
I think it was one time during Jessica's party when she had it at the hotel.
I think that's the one I'm thinking about too. Yeah.
Yeah, you went to everybody.
Yeah.
That night, I think you hit everybody.
Oh my god, and that was a good part. I think I even went to the people that I hadn't talked to in years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the people that were like just showed up and were like, "What are you doing here? Oh my god."
Yeah.
That's funny you say that because I was thinking about that same exact night right now.
That night.
God, I totally forgot I did that. That's so embarrassing, but
it's not.
It's. I don't know. I feel like that is something, and I'm not gonna go too deep in it. I'm not gonna toot my own horn. This isn't about me. This episode is about you. You know, but I feel like that's just something that I've realized I have, that not only can I go up to people and have these conversations and be open with them, but people also come to me. This one night, this was a couple months ago, I went out with two of my friends. We were supposed to be out till like, it was supposed to be a quick drink, ate back like at 10 p.m. I was back at like 2 in the morning. Not even, I think I was back the morning after. I slept over at my friend's place. And at one point we leave this club bar, or I walk out because I needed to like some fresh air. And these two guys come up to me and they're over here telling me about all their problems. Yeah. I'm like, what about me invites you to come over here and open up to me? And it happened again with this lady. Who was it? I cannot remember. But it was like after that, like it happened again with this lady, and she was telling me about all her life problems. And I'm like, dude, who are you? I have no idea who you are. Yeah. And so that's funny you say that, because I don't know, it's just something I've noticed about myself. Like, yeah.
I think we, especially like, when we're intoxicated and our inhibitions kind of get, they go down, our wall, not our walls, but like our guard kind of comes down a bit. We're more prone to like knowing who's real or not. That's true. And so, you probably, if people can like see you, and while they're, their inhibitions are kind of low, they're like, this is a person I can trust. Like, they're gonna listen to me.
Look at them. This dork here, they can listen to me. This dork. Yeah, well, I'm honestly glad that you were on here, because as much as I said that I know about you, I learned a lot more today. And I do appreciate you coming on, and I do appreciate you being open, and I am very, very proud of you. I think everything that you've been going through, all kind of like the changes that you've been showing out there, and being more open and being more vocal, and just being, like I said, less of an introvert and just more of, maybe not so much extrovert, but the middle territory. It's new for you, and it's new for us to see, and we're also excited to see it. I personally haven't spoken to anybody really about your progress, because I mean, you see Jessica a lot more than I do. You see Jasmine a lot more than I do, probably Christian too, and I think you actually see everybody a lot more than I see you and Brian. Maybe Brian.
Well, no, I see Brian like
whenever we all get together.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure they all see it. So I don't really talk to them about any of this, but I have this feeling that they already know. And if they listen, when you guys listen to this, oh my God. you all get to hear it, and there's no other way for me to describe it than I'm proud of you, Gabby. I'm very proud of you.
Why are you trying to get me to cry on the roast of mine right now?
Jessica cried. I think Christian got emotional. I think she got emotional. Oh. Yeah. So, yeah. Thank you for being on.
Ahi. Oh my Lord.
Okay. So thank you everybody for listening. It's been a really good episode. I wasn't expecting this episode to be almost about an hour. And so, like I said, thank you so much, Gabby, for being on. And I hope everybody gets to tune in and is excited for all the kind of changes that I'm bringing onto the show, and really enjoy more of this project that I kind of extend to you. So thank you again for listening, and I'll see you all again. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.